Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. This week's episode is going to be one day earlier because Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn Open Beta starts this weekend, and I do want to give that a go. Not that I'm planning to play the game after that, but yeah, it's a subscription-based MMO. And well, I do want to take a look at the open beta, but it'll have a really hard time convincing me to pay a sub for the actual game. But we'll see. I do want to play it a little bit, maybe cover it a little bit this weekend. So I decided to go old school for this EVE Talk and go back for a recording on this one. So here we go. Let's have a quick look at the market here. And as always, we'll start out with minerals. So let's have a quick look at titanium to start out with. This is the 3-month chart, and it looks like the 5-day moving average is back below the 20-day moving average, so we're still seeing a slow downtrend. It's really close, but it's still there, where just like a week or 2 weeks ago it looked like it might just try and find a bottom. Right here we are seeing a slow downtrend again. Current prices in station 487, 488 for titanium. Let's have a quick look at pyrite then, which is currently looking at 12 ISK, although that's just a smaller order. Here we have 1206, 1207, so just above 12 ISK. Let's have a look at the 3-month chart on this one. You can see the downtrend, definitely coming from 13.5. And then all the way down here, and right there at the tail end, that's actually bad news, because again, 1 to 2 weeks ago it looked like the 5-day moving average was crossing 20-day and was going to start to form a bottom, but right here at the tail end you can see it dipping below 20-day moving average again, in fact dipping below 12 ISK. So that's really dangerous. If it actually breaks that in any sustained manner, we could be seeing prices go even lower towards 11, in my opinion. Luckily, prices in station still 12, 12.6, 12.7, something like that. So yeah, pyrite, it's trying to defend that price point at 12 ISK. Unfortunately, data points are starting to break it. So if this support breaks, you know, it could just mean that the downtrend for minerals is not over yet. I mean, it's trying really hard, you know, just like titanium a few weeks ago, trying to work its way in a bottom, but not just yet. Let's have a look here at Mexalon, and this is a lot better for a bottom forming. Right here you can see that 5-day moving average is now above 20-day moving average for at least a whole week, something like that. Data points point upward a little bit. So it doesn't look like this is going to break 35 anymore. Quick look at prices in Jita Station. 38 ISK, 38.24, 38.26 even. So yeah, Mexalon, you know, if that one doesn't start to go back down again, I think this looks like it could be a bottom. But it's all touch and go at the moment. You know, we thought the same thing 1 and 2 weeks ago for titanium and pyrite, where we saw something similar. But those are back on the downtrend, so it's really hard to say if this is actually a bottom and the start of an end to this trend, or if it's just a temporary reprieve and Mexalon could start going back down next week. Maybe the end of the summer could change that. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have a quick look at the other minerals that don't really come from HiSec. Let's have a look here at Zydrine, current price in station 665. Definitely still a downtrend, 5-day moving average below 20-day moving average. Not a great chart. Let's have a look at the 1-year chart. Yeah, coming from 1000 ISK, this is around Odyssey, and a clear downtrend here, so that's not so good at the moment for Zydrine either. Quick look at Noxium. Yeah, very similar chart here on the 1-year chart. A nice speculative top here, and then a serious correction. In fact, it broke 800 ISK. Current prices 767, 793, something like that. So unfortunately, 3-month chart, it definitely broke 800 ISK, and that's really bad news to see. 5-day moving average stay well below 20-day moving average once again. So we could see a sustained decline here for Noxium again in the next few weeks. Megasite 3-month chart, yeah, pretty similar right there, breaking 2000, still going down. 1-year chart coming from 2500 and current price is station 1844. Yeah, those are pretty low prices, especially considering that top right here and how most of the time Megasite has stayed well below 2000. It's not looking too good at the moment for miners. The only slight point that could be positive is that Mexalon right there might just be forming its bottom finally, but we thought the same for Pyrite and Tritanium, but they're back on the downtrend, so really not too good. Let's have a look then at the impact of this mineral chart on the TechOne chips. Here is the Drake chart, very similar to the high-end ones here. A spike around Odyssey, maybe for the war, something like that, but then a correction and a continued downtrend at the tail end. If I go to the 3-month chart, in fact 46 broken, no problem, and here again at the end below 44 even, current price in station, yeah, just below 44 million ISK, so the Drake definitely is struggling. Let's have a look at the battleship then, the Maelstrom. Ooh, that's clearly still on the downtrend. I mean, 5-day moving average hovering at around 172, 20-day 176, prices in station 173. So definitely it's still having a serious downtrend. You know, here again you can see pretty interesting, I think, on the Maelstrom chart here, the 5-day moving average just a few weeks ago trying to work its way back up. And it indicated to me that there might have been a bottom just a few weeks after, a week or so after the minerals were trying to form one, but the part after that is not really encouraging, back on the downtrend. And so yeah, if this is sustained, we could see further deflation in TechOne chips and in the minerals, so not great news for miners and TechOne producers, I'm afraid, for this week. After that, we'll have a quick look at the hacks, heavy assault cruisers. We'll just go over the charts real quickly. Let's see, just to see what the impact has been after things have settled down a little bit with the hack changes that have been announced. So the Sacrilege, a big spike here, but pretty much back where it started, around 150, is that correct? Yeah, 145 even, so that's actually a little bit lower. No, I think that's pretty much normal. Where it's been before they announced changes. So that's just basically a speculative bubble. Right now the market has settled back to where it was before. The Zealot, yeah, pretty much similar chart here. Big spike with the announced changes, but then a drawback, in fact, below what it was 3 months ago. Current price is station 1 below 130 million. So that one is actually looking pretty low for the year even on the Zealot. Let's have a look at Cerberus. That's a little bit better, I think, for traders and people that produce them. Definitely up after the changes and in a sustained manner, so from 120 to 180. That's not bad. 50% increase in price for the Cerberus. Current price is 173, so it's pulling back a little bit. But generally, you know, the Cerberus has gone up in price and has been able to maintain that. Next up, the Eagle, yeah, also up, you know, from 110 to, what would that be, 133, 130, ooh, actually 144. Someone is buying up all the Eagles here if you look at sell orders, but also a sustained increase in price for the Eagle. Demos, yeah, definitely still on the uptrend right there from 130 to 160. Ishtar, yeah, no question about that, 140 to 200 million, that's not bad either, almost 50% increase there as well. That was to be expected. It just became even better at its job, and I think the only cruiser that can field 5 large drones, so that's actually normal, that it's really popular and the price has gone up like that. Munin, up a little bit on 3 months, but the general trend with the changes is actually down for the Munin, so that's interesting. And then the Vagabond, that one's up and sustained, so pretty interesting. You know, the Amar hack changes, not that popular. Those have recovered from the price spikes, and in fact the Zealot is even lower than where it started. Caldari sustained increase, Galente as well. In fact the Ishtar is looking really good right there. The DBA was pretty decent. And then the Munin for the Caldari, the changes are not liked there. In fact, the downtrend after the changes. And then the Vagabond, that one's gone up quite a bit actually. Well, quite a bit. 135, 155. That's not too dramatic, not the same as the Ishtar, but definitely up a little bit. So let's do the same for the command ships then, advanced battle cruisers. Let's have a look here at the Absolution chart. Pretty flat throughout the announced changes. Damnation, I suspect the same. Yeah, pretty flat here throughout the announced changes. Nighthawk up a little bit, at least that's good news. Current prices 204. Yeah, definitely up a little bit for the Nighthawk, which was actually on the downtrend there. Vulture looks more like speculation because it's already corrected back down. And 16th of June, that's a little bit too early to be the changes to the command ships. Next up, Astarte. Looks speculative again to me, maybe up a little bit. Have a look, 214. Yeah, it's definitely up, but it's also correcting right back. So this might not be a sustained change, just like we saw with the Amar hacks. The EOS, that one's up, obviously. From 230, something like that, towards 300 million. Let's see if it's still, well, it has gone back down, but it's still 300 million for an EOS. So we saw some really high prices when the EOS changes were announced. Once again, 5 heavy drones on that one. And as you can see, a lot of speculative and trading money has gone into the market. Very few sell orders at the moment. People are trying to take as much money out of that as they can, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to break 300 million in any sustained manner, although we had some data points at 340. So someone made some good money selling EOSs at 340, but I think it'll settle down below 300 million. It might just correct a little bit after this in the coming weeks. So I would hold on, you know, if you want an EOS for like the wormholes after the changes, I'd say just wait a little bit, not too long either. After the summer, there is usually a general inflation in prices as more people come back to the game. But for now, you know, this doesn't look like it's going to be sustained too long because they're one-isking themselves back down from 340, now 300, and then 280, 298. So I think this will probably not be able to sustain the current prices. Then the Claymore, not moving too much, a little bit up maybe, but nothing too dramatic. And the Sleipnir, that one's up. That one is definitely up in 2 big spikes and they've corrected afterwards. So decent amount of trading being done here. The sell orders still look healthy, but 250 coming from 230. So yeah, definitely a sustained up from for the Sleipnir, 10-20 million, something like that, and it's looking like it's going to try and stay above 250. So yeah, those are probably the most interesting ones for trading with Odyssey 1.1. I think a lot of money has definitely been made in the EOS and the Ishtar. You know, the drone ships, always very popular even in high sec, and so I think that is why those have known such big price spikes and increases. I'm a bit surprised by the Amar hacks. You know, those have really underperformed compared to the rest, so people are not too happy with those changes, I take it. But yeah, most of the other ones are up a little bit because of the changes, so that's pretty damn interesting. Next up, what else have we got here? Tech 3, I guess. Melted nanoribbon, still on the downtrend, but does it manage to break 5 million? That's the big question. Once below 5 million, you know, you definitely have a buying opportunity, but above that, you know, not really sure. 5.2 million, it's still trying, I think. It's still trying. This is once again something to keep in mind. Currently it's summer, so not too much activity, prices tend to go down, so it could still go down a little bit, but keep in mind, you know, after the summer, September, activity is going to pick back up. and prices might just be going back up as well if people decide to do more with melted nanoribbons. But it's actually pretty interesting that I say this, because if there's increased activity in wormhole space, supply might just increase. So I would hold on, wait and hope that nanoribbons break 5 million. At this point, I think it's definitely buy worthy. And then hope that it will increase with the expansion if more demand comes, and then be able to sell it. But keep in mind, this is the Loki chart on a 1 year basis, really low for a 1 year, and this is the Tengu that probably looks even worse. Yeah, so Tech 3 ships are at an all-time low because of suspected nerfs when they get their rebalancing done, and this will also have an impact on the melted nanoribbons demand, I think. So that's why we could be seeing a sustained downtrend. I like it once it drops below 5 million, but with the ships in this current state, I cannot guarantee that they will actually move back up in the same way that you can see here. Spike to 6.5, spike to 6 million, coming from 6.5. It's hard to say, but yeah, I think if it goes below 5 million, I might be willing to risk a little bit of ISK as an investment in melted nanoribbons. What else have we got? That's Tech 3 stuff. Galente fuel blocks, we see a big spike here with the goon interdiction of Caldari ice, but that's corrected a little bit. So if the goons are pinpointing Caldari stuff, that's a little bit normal. So we will have a look at Caldari fuel blocks, search, and here we go. Coming from 14,000, just like Galente fuel blocks, current prices in Jita station 18,000, so they still managed to keep this price up, although the chart is still having to catch up here again. So yeah, I don't know, it depends on how long the goons will be able to keep this up. Once their blockade ends and they decide that they've unloaded their stocks, it's definitely going to go back down towards 14,000. But it's up quite a bit actually, from 14 to 18,000, due to the goons manipulating the Caldari ice market. So yeah, they've been successful on this one, I think. Being able to sustain this for a whole week does mean that they've been able to sell their stocks at a decent margin against what it normally was, or what it cost them to purchase it. And yeah, I'd say they've been successful. The question is, how long are they going to maintain this? I guess that's all due to the goons, up to the goons economics team. They will decide when their interdiction ends, and then probably we'll see the price correct by quite a bit towards 14,000, I think, just like what you're seeing right now in the Galente fuel blocks. It spiked up, speculation that they might just be hitting Galente ice as well. Once they saw that that's not the case, it came right back down, and it's now back at 14.9 thousand ISK in Jita station. So it's up a little bit. The impact is still there. Maybe some fear of people that goons might just attack any ice mining operation. But not as sustained as the Caldari fuel blocks. But they've successfully manipulated that market, so pretty interesting and well done by the goons. And then we will end up with the Plex. Let's see what that one's doing. I do like that the 5-day moving average has broken 20-day. I don't like that it's still looking like it's below 550. Let's have a look. Nope, 554 for sellers. So that's really good news, I think. For people that have purchased Plex, that is 554, up from last week, that's for sure, where it was back down. So yeah, small speculative dip, but if 5-day moving average can maintain its trend above 20-day moving average, we could be seeing the start of the uptrend towards the winter expansion, which I'm really excited to see and start that one form. I want to see these big spikes here, up and up and up towards 620. It's already starting now at 550, so 600. I think it's coming. The question is, when does the uptrend start? And if you look at the start here of this chart, it's right about now that it should. Although we are seeing here a top and a dip, which is mirrored here with a top and then a dip and then a new top again. After this point, you know, last year the uptrend was definitely engaged and it was pretty much unstoppable towards September, October, where speculation was at its high, and so I'm definitely looking for this to start happening here as well. We'll see if this comes true, because I did invest into 7 Plex, but I think it will. And I think this is also an indication that, well, we might be at the early stages of a turning point in general activity in EVE Online as well. You know, it's been down definitely during the summer. That's what happens. Although we had a big war and a summer expansion, the general trend in EVE Online is that the summer is a little bit more quiet, and then the run up towards the winter expansion, where a lot of activity tends to explode. It might just be starting right now. It's definitely gonna start in the next few weeks. Very exciting to see what the Plex market is going to do once CCP comes out with news for the next expansion. So really interesting. I hope you guys have stocked up on your Plex. I told you guys as well last week and the week before that, if it pulls back a little bit, it's actually a buying opportunity. I would not hesitate, if you haven't yet, to buy them on any dip at this point. But yeah, it already broke, and it's right back up on its uptrend. And once it gets going, you know, it could be sustained for quite a bit with speculative highs. I would not be surprised to see 600 million at that point very soon. Anyways, that's it for this week's EVE Talk, guys. I'll see you all next time.